Hello, everyone. I was very much in between either recording this or playing more of Yes, Your Grace Snowfall. And I decided to record this because I actually want to leave the house to go to my local farmer's market tomorrow. And if I'm recording this, I won't. So that's why I'm recording it now. Except you guys have I don't even know why I'm saying anything because you guys have no idea if I'm talking about today or tomorrow or last week. But we're going with it. Anyway, so the next video that we have is It Takes a Village, Alyssa's story. And this is just another one of those like meet the podcaster ones. And I'm not really expecting it to be very interesting, but for some reason I have this compulsion to at least try each episode. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to 5 at most 10 minutes of that, and that's stretching it. And then we'll move on to Influencers Unfiltered, which we will also listen to only for about 5, maybe 10 minutes, because I don't know if this is actually going to be that interesting. If it's interesting, we'll continue to listen. If it's not, we're going to go straight to the one that I'm pretty sure is going to be interesting, and that's Elephant in the Room, Fat Phobia in the Workplace. So that's what we're going to do. While you guys are watching this, you're gonna see me going through all sorts of Etsy hat patterns and bag patterns because for some reason I have a hyper fixation on that shit right now. I don't fucking know why. I'm just like I want to make all the hats. I want to make all the hats and all the bags and everything. So I don't want to spend the money for all of that though, which is why I window shop and put everything on a wish list. So that's what we're doing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fab Fatties. We are super excited that we are wrapping up our Spotlight series with our fave street kid, Alyssa. I'm pretty excited today because I'm rocking my Alyssa vibes because I have sneakers on, which I know that you can't see, but I can see, and I feel so cool. I feel like you. So enough about me. Just kidding. So today we're talking all about Alyssa and Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to let you know that my rapid fire questions are pretty great. I don't want you to be intimidated.
I am a little bit, but honestly, I don't even care how great they are because I am just all about how quickly Alyssa responds.
I know, because
She has been putting us to the fire about how quickly we responded, so I'm expecting.
That's what I'm going for. They're called rapid fire.
I also want everybody to know the other day that in my Happy Color app, no, this is not sponsored, but hit your girl up.
Oh, I love it.
Because Rebecca and I both play
I
on
don't
the
know what
Happy
that
Color
is.
app.
It's a coloring.
It's
app.
literally coloring on your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
In the Happy Color app, there was a very large duck. And I colored it specifically for Alyssa, and I sent it to her.
Oh, that was the image you sent me? I thought it was just like one you found online.
Oh, no, I colored that baby for you.
Oh my God, I love it.
You're welcome.
It was a giant
One
duck.
horse-sized duck. Actually, no, it's the large, I don't know where it came from.
It was definitely bigger than a horse, but
It was definitely bigger than a horse, but it was just for you, baby boo. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
First question. Would you rather have the ability to talk to animals, but they only gossip about you, or or have the power to make inanimate objects come to life and talk to you, but they only speak in riddles?
Oh, forget the riddles. We're going animals.
I knew you were going to say
They
that.
can gossip about me all day.
listen, I already know my cat's a biatch and talking about me, so like, let's just hear it. Why
Yeah,
don't we?
just imagine her being like, no, fuck the riddles.
No,
Absolutely not.
absolutely hard no on the riddles.
Yeah, I don't need that kind of life.
No.
What is it?
I like riddles. What are your opinions on riddles? We're only 2 minutes in. Are you so fucking serious? These questions are already dumb. So it's questions and then would you rather hot cheeks and perpetually itchy back, weird dream. I'm done. Yeah, 2 minutes. We're fucking done. I'm done.
Welcome back to the Fab Fatties. We are talking about all things influencing and social media content creation today. My name is Rebecca.
Alyssa.
Allie.
And we have all different experiences doing things that are influencer-y. And we also have lots of feelings about the word influencer. So we're going to talk about those things today. And we have some lovely questions from you all that we got from Instagram that we're going to be answering towards the latter portion of the episode. I feel too formal, so.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
I said I feel too formal, and Alyssa's like,
I'm just sleepy today.
Okay, I won't take anything personally then.
Why are you so sleepy?
It was a busy week.
Yeah.
Tell
Well,
us.
busy
Let's do a little
weeks.
friend catch up before we get into the influencing
The
and
meat
social
of
media.
the episode.
The meat.
Well, I feel like you guys should start because I feel so disconnected. Like I've been so MIA from the group chat. So what's been going on?
We've missed you.
I know. I'm really sorry.
I have
I did
something
get
to
some.
tell you.
I did to get some like expressions in there. I liked thumbs up some messages. I thumbed down some messages.
Oh, I didn't even see
I
any thumb down.
exclamation pointed some messages.
Did you thumbs down something?
Yeah,
Oh God.
I did.
I have to go back.
You guys were talking about 2003,
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. We were age shaming young folk.
and I was in 3rd grade.
Okay. That feels pointed.
So I gave you a little.
Where were you in 2003, listener, viewer? I want to know. I was entering high school. You
We're
Or-
graduating 3rd grade.
graduating 3rd grade. My boyfriend was in kindergarten. So we love that for us. So,
It doesn't make us feel uncomfy at all.
not at all. Not at all.
That's a little weird. Unfortunately, this one does not have chapters because I'm like getting bored, but it sounds like they might cover something interesting. I was really hoping they would have chapters so I could just like skip past their bullshit. But since we can't, I guess we'll commit to a full 5 minutes before like that's where I am with these. I'm like, you guys have 5 minutes and I sometimes I won't even give you that, but I will give them the full 5 minutes for this one.
Alyssa, I have some really exciting news to share with you.
Yeah.
It turns out I am a reader. I can actually read, but it has to be smut.
Okay.
It has to be smut. I have straight up started reading.
What are you reading?
So it's like fucking book talk. Why the fuck do I care? Like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be like a raging bitch about this. But you guys kind of position yourselves, and for the first many, you talk about fat acceptance topics. This kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I just, like, so you're reading smut. Welcome to fucking 90% of TikTok. I mean, seriously. Fucking welcome to teenagers on AO3 and fucking what was it? I think it was actually fanfiction.net was what was where I read fanfiction when in like 2007, want to say. It was back when you had to put the disclaimer at the top. I do not own it because of fucking Anne Rice. Anyone remember that? Does anyone remember that? Please. Does anyone remember that?
I read it very quickly. It's called Priest. I
Yes.
think.
Yes, it is. It is in fact called Priest.
As a former Catholic, I feel uncomfy
and
again.
You should.
it is I have not read that book. It did not grab my attention, but I know everything about that book.
Boy, grab something.
It is definitely it's a darker romance as what it has been it's like categorized as okay.
There's really, if it helps you at all, there's really not much of a plot to it. It's really just like, okay, we have to throw in a few words here and there before we get to the
Okay.
right, to the spicy parts.
I want to pull up the book that I'm reading. People are going to judge me because I actually cannot pronounce the name of the book.
I've been reading books
That's what it's
too.
called. What is that called at the bottom?
I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, sorry.
Rhapsodic,
Yeah.
the Bargainer book 1.
Yes, the Bargainer book. Okay.
Is this also smut?
That's all she reads.
That's all I've read. I'm like,
Okay.
can we stop even asking me that question? It is. Unless disclosed otherwise.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm reading romance.
Smut.
It's not always smutty, but it usually is. I'm loving this book right now. It's by Laura Thales. Thalas. Thales.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm over the fucking smut book chat. Do they leave it?
Listen, not at the same time, right? But like I'm listening to a thriller.
And reading a book.
Okay, I don't care. I'm sorry. I am done. We're just gonna move on to the fucking interesting sounding one. And because this one actually sounds interesting, I'm going to actually bear with any bullshittery that they have at the beginning of it. I might actually skip some of it, and we'll just like skip minute by minute until we get to something reasonable. But I'm over this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back with the Fab Fatties. I'm Alyssa. Oh, they already are off the rails.
I was waiting for her to go.
I thought you were gonna go.
I just gave the intro of a lifetime.
You did.
You
You
really
brought
did.
so
You
much
nailed
energy.
that. You absolutely nailed that.
Okay, that's Allie and that's Rebecca.
I'm Rebecca. My bad.
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm in trouble already.
We have a different topic today, something that we haven't spoken about yet, and I'm
That's right.
kind of excited. We're going to be talking about fat phobia in the workplace. So I have a statistic to get us started today, which is more than 40% of U.S. adults report experiencing weight-related stigma at some point in their lives. This can, in the workplace, this can take form as teasing, taunting, and microaggressions. And what I find really interesting is that research has found that as obesity rates in the U.S. have risen, so has weight discrimination.
Yeah, that tracks. I feel like that tracks for sure.
Yeah, because I think the more people see it as a problem, the more vehemently they're trying to like push against it. And a lot of people do think the way to solve things is shame. Welcome to my childhood. You know, like if you get in trouble enough for this thing,
Yeah.
it will be corrected.
Yeah. If you hate yourself.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because it doesn't say like 40% of overweight adults. 40% of adults
Yes.
face weight stigma. And you know, when I think about some of my experiences at work, the people who talk most about the weight are not people who are fat.
How is that weight stigma like quantified though? That's my question. Is it self-report? I would bet it is self-report. And then if it is self-report, like don't get me wrong, there's definitely discrimination that can happen because of its weight. And it's not necessarily something that's going to be obvious and in writing and clear as day. But it is worth noting that if someone goes in expecting uh some sort of discrimination, they're going to see it more regardless of whether it's there or not. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, but it means that people can become more sensitive to it if they are expecting it. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not sure about those numbers, but we'll hear some more.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
That's my question. I want to hear, before we go into like all the facts and figures, Barry. I don't know what movies that's from, but I've quoted that now like 3 times in the last week. And
Well, I'll never get it. So
I need to look it up because I'm actually very good with quotes and I'm very sad that I don't know what it's from. But I want to get, before we get into all the facts and figures, I want to hear like your stories. I want to hear like your workplace. I will definitely get into mine. But that's where I want to start there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
wants to take it away with their workplace?
Are you vibing with us? Adam and Eve wants to vibe with you too. All you have to do is go to adamandeve.com now.
I have been open that I work at a YMCA.
Yeah.
And there's a gym aspect to that, right?
Yeah.
While the YMCA is more than a gym, that's our biggest thing, like letting everyone know we're more than a gym. We're like a community center with programs and all these amazing things. There's a gym,
Yeah.
right? So I think when I talk about this today, it's really hard for me to separate the fat phobia from the diet culture because one, I think they're so intertwined and ingrained with each other. And also in my workplace, they are.
Yeah.
You know, I literally was walking in the hall the other day and we have a nutritionist company that is on site at the Y and they have their marketing and you can go and talk to them and get counseling. And the number one thing on their banner that they help with is controlling your weight. And I'm like, oh, you know, it's just like, that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's the number one thing that most people want help with. I mean, let's be honest. People are very into aesthetics and appearances more so than health. If people were that into health, there would be fewer vapors. There would be fewer. If people were really into health, there would be fewer things overall that we would do. And yes, eating less is one of them because being an unhealthy way is still unhealthy and may mean that you are eating too much. Like, let's even just say you have the perfect healthy diet that no nutritionist can make better. If you are an unhealthy weight, you are eating too much of that diet, you know? I just like, yeah, of course that's the number one thing because that's the number one thing that people are that like tend to look for. I'm sure that they focus on it being nutritious. They're not telling people to eat a protein bar and nothing else for breakfast. You know, like I don't. So what that they're promoting that they can help with weight loss? That's not necessarily a failing, even by fat acceptance standards. If you are willing to take a look at a bigger picture rather than your just initial affront to the general topic, if someone is able to get in there because they want to lose weight, because they have been entrenched with diet culture and it has tricked them into thinking that their body isn't good enough. Well, then guess what? The nutritionist is going to be like, well, you can't just eat this massive prepackaged food. It's not nutrient dense enough. So here's how to make it more nutrient dense. So the person is eating healthier. Isn't that what everyone wants? Is everyone to eat healthier? So is that really such a big deal if that also leads to weight loss?
Yeah, I bet that's the number one thing that drives people to want to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at a gym, you
I
know?
was gonna say it's advertising the thing that most people want to buy.
100%.
Well, because it's advertising the thing that's most heavily advertised,
Yeah.
which is weight loss.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and think about like the amount of like social gray social mobility you
Yeah.
get from
Yeah.
being thin, right? And we'll get more into that later, but yeah.
The
Yeah.
social currency
Yes,
of being
that's
thin.
it.
I think what will shock people is that I have worked for the YMCA for the past 5.5 years. And I've been at one branch. And at that one branch, I've only been up to the fitness floor one time.
Is it like a triggering thing for you?
I just feel unwelcome.
Yeah.
I've taken the classes before, like a Zumba class, a kickboxing class. Those feel a little bit different to me
Yeah.
than the fitness floor does with like all of the equipment and like going up there and now,
Sure.
you know, I just,
So then my question is, you say you feel unwelcome. Do you feel unwelcome because you're fat, or do you feel unwelcome because it's a foreign environment for you? And I don't mean that as a dig. I'm saying that as like you can feel unwelcome going into anything that is like brand new to you. Right? She's describing all the equipment. If the equipment is intimidating, then it's probably not because it's fat phobic equipment. It's probably because you're like, I have no idea how to fucking work this thing. Like, I took a blacksmithing class. Fabulous teacher, wonderful guy. Um, was very kind and helped me a lot. I was the only woman there, and everything was very masculine. Like I don't even like there was no real decoration to the place at all. There was one couch for like in the waiting area, and then everything was like, concrete floors, and there was no like decoration or anything. Not that that's a bad thing. I went there to take a class and I had a good time. And the guy clearly knew what he was doing. It's just a very clearly masculine space that was different from the spaces I normally inhabit. And that's okay. Is it a little intimidating when you first walk in? Yeah, but the key is to recognize that that's mostly you. That's mostly you being uncomfortable in a foreign environment, and that's okay. Like, that's the one thing is that it's okay to be uncomfortable in a foreign environment. Just don't let that discomfort keep you from trying something, you know? And there's a big difference between discomfort with the environment and discomfort with the people in the environment. Because if you're just uncomfortable in the environment, then chances are it's that the environment is unfamiliar to you. If you're uncomfortable with the people in the environment, then there might be something else going on. It could just be you and your perception, but it could also just be something else. Like I've been in plenty male dominated spaces, some of which were completely fine, and some of which the guys were rude as fuck, and I never wanted to step in there again. So I would say the people make the space more than the space makes the space. That little blacksmith class place was sparsely decorated, um, and looked like a guy first time on his own, his bachelor pad, and he has like fucking TV on the floor and a lawn chair. It was kind of like it was almost like that a little bit, and I was gonna say, and that's okay, and it is, but what made that space very comfortable and warm, apart from the furnace, was that the teacher was so welcoming and created a space where everyone was doing their own thing. He was good with There was a little boy with his dad there. The teacher was great with them. There were guys that would clearly work in like construction, or they were electricians or something. There's this particular getup in these overalls called Carhartts that they wear that you can just kind of identify them. And then there were like clear fucking nerds that worked at a video game shop there as well. What made it comfortable for everyone was the teacher. It just, I guess my point is that if it felt uncomfortable or unwelcoming, was that the people? Was that your unfamiliarity with the environment? Was it something just internal to you?
Think we hear a lot. I'm sure that could be a whole nother episode about how people feel in in the gym and in spaces, where you're physically moving your body. But I was covering an MOD shift over the holidays at the branch, and I had to give a tour, and that's the only reason I went up there, is I was giving a tour. So I was like, I guess we're going to see this for the first time together. So I think it just speaks to a little bit of the environment, right? Sure. It's not like a personal experience. It's more of like, I just don't feel comfortable.
Sure.
And I know.
Honestly, though, if that's like your whole reasoning, to me, it just sounds like it's not an environment you inhabit a whole lot, and so it's uncomfortable for you. If you're not used to those environments, you're not used to the specialities of a certain environment, it can be really uncomfortable or really foreboding. Ugh, I cannot talk tonight. This is what I get for doing it at night instead of first thing in the morning like I normally do. But I still think that this sounds more like an issue with your discomfort with the environment rather than the environment itself being the issue.
The people, right? I have relationships.
Do you know the people that work up on
100%?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe not every single person, but like enough.
Yeah.
I know all of the key staff from the key staff meetings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just feel like there's a message of like, not for me. And I don't think it's necessarily just the why, right? I think that's just a fitness in general. I feel like unwelcome. What about you?
So I work at a university, and I've worked there for over a decade now. Gray hairs. And my workplace is interesting because, in a good way, actually, this time. It's interesting because my colleagues, like in a university setting, it's a huge setting. There's so many employees. There's so many people. And what we happen is we have departments. And so our colleagues are really our department colleagues. It's that's who we're working with most closely. But a lot of my work is solo. I'm teaching, I'm out doing my own thing, and I work with my colleagues on departmental stuff and faculty meetings, but I'm not seeing them a lot. But what's nice about my department is it is mostly women and men who hold feminist ideals. So
I love that for you.
Yeah. So what I find is like, it's not okay to put across misogynistic viewpoints. It's not okay to body shame. And I think where I feel probably the most eek is around food, mostly just because I do have several colleagues that are vegans, and not just for dietary purpose, but for political purposes, you know?
Gotcha.
And I think sometimes I hear in their messaging some things around food that make me feel uncomfortable and make me feel watched with what I'm eating. And what my choices are, and that can make me feel uncomfortable. And of course, some people have individually said things that make me realize that they view like I can only eat so much. I need to temper this. I'm being so bad eating this thing, right? Like I get a little bit of that, but I don't get the very explicit pushback. In fact, some of my colleagues, I've felt very comfortable sharing that I do plus size fashion. I do a podcast. Now, the group I feel comfortable with that with is a much smaller group. It's like 3 to 4 people that I feel really I can talk to about those things, and they understand it as identity. And I will say, like, where I work, we do look a lot at like writing, language, and identity, and they understand that identity is complex, and they understand that we have embodied identities. So like in that way, because I'm in an academic space where like people are very aware of those things, I feel I get more acceptance and more reassurance to explore my fatness as identity, which is, I feel like it's a unique experience.
Sounds like a progressive college. Here's the thing. I've worked in a much more progressive school, and I've worked in a far more conservative, that where I am is a far more conservative school. Not like it's conservative for where I live. On the grand scheme of things, it's probably still pretty left. But it's definitely not as progressive as the last school. And I think that there's merits to both. It's different if they're like spewing hate speech or whatever, but I think the general practice and learning how, because everyone, this is the thing with that one, is that everyone in that workplace mostly does not talk politics because there is a wider variety of political views there. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that there's this kind of big shutdown of let's not talk politics at work. Like it was a little bit of an adjustment for me because politics talk was not uncommon at my more progressive school. But at the more conservative school, it was kind of nice that that was not even a topic that was regularly broached. I'm glad that she's happy where she is. I'm glad that that's working for her. I'm glad that their opinions align because it is nice when that happens at a workplace. At the same time, I think there is merit to both.
Yeah, I love that.
I do think that is unique.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that's really cool too.
For sure. Yeah.
How about you?
Did not have that experience. So, I mean, now I guess I work for myself.
Yeah.
But so I don't shame myself. But coming from the real estate industry was
I was gonna say traumatic.
Traumatic would be the nicest word I could probably use as far as body image goes, as far as the maybe the microaggressions, I think mostly, but also there is very much I think now too, with the emergence of like, I mean, we've always had HGTV, right? So like, you've always had the house hunters and the beachfront bargain hunter, whatever. Like, and you see normal everyday realtors, right? But then you get the selling sunsets and the whatever,
The glamour industry version.
Yes, very much on Netflix, right? And then it's like, there does become this idea of what a realtor looks like, right? And it is a very image conscious industry. It's a very like, when we talk about our trainings were, this is how you show up. This is what you look like. This is how you dress. This is what you drive. This is how your car looks. This is what your bags look like, and not necessarily like, written in a handbook somewhere like, oh, you must have a Louis Vuitton and a Lexus, but like, just like, these are the steps to get to the poster of what success looks like in that industry. Yeah. With that said, obviously a lot of it is, with a lot of it being image-based, I faced a lot of a lot of language. I was around a lot of language that really fucked with me like every day. I was also on a team of all women for a long time, for several years at the end of my real estate career, which they were all wonderful women. And, you know, they all, um, you know, they were all so beautiful. I thought they were all so beautiful, and they were all straight sized women, and most of them very thin women. And 9 times out of 10, at least one would make a comment every single day of, oh, I'm so fat today. I am so disgusting today. I look so gross today. And I'm like, I am right fucking here. I'm right here because they're talking about the way that they look. They're
Okay,
talking.
they're talking about the way that they look and they're talking about how they're feeling. I I really find it very self-absorbed that you're making it about you, in all honesty. Like, okay, you're there, you're fat. They can still say that they are fat today. They can still say that they feel gross and disgusting and they feel fat. Like, I don't know. I'm like, that's not necessarily like a pointed thing about you. There are plenty of people that feel that way and they're not necessarily directing it at a fat person, and if you know that they're not directing it at you, but you're like, I'm right there. I'm right there. How can they see that in front of me? Because they are allowed to, because they live their own lives that don't revolve around you. Because they are their own person and they can, I don't fucking know, have an off day where they feel fat and gross.
About their bodies and saying like, I look so fat today. Now, I also understand. I understand that we all grew up in the same society, right? We all grew up in the same society that told us thin is good, fat is bad. Like you don't want to look like you don't want to look like your teammate, right?
And if you look fat, you look XYZ.
Exactly.
Long
Yeah.
list.
If you, that's the thing, right? It's not like the more that we talk about this, the more that we dive into it, we realize it's like people aren't necessarily afraid of being fat. They're really afraid of being treated the way fat people are treated, right? And it's you realize when
No,
like
some people can just be afraid of being fat. Like, or we say afraid. It's more just like not wanting to be fat because being fat has all sorts of issues that come with it. When I gain weight, my back and joints hurt more. Like, that's a reason I don't want to be fat. Like, I don't know. I think changing it to where it's like they don't want to be treated the way fat people are treated is just kind of a way for you to victimize yourself or something. I don't know. It's so, I just don't like it.
I think back, I think about the conversations that people had around me that I would never do now, right? I used to because I had that programming. I had that diet culture language, right? And I mean, the only, you know, the group bonding in real estate was my I think the first like kind of thing I got into to really kind of bond with my fellow realtors at the very beginning of my real estate career was a Weight Watchers thing that we all did.
I was gonna say, since I was a teen, the way I sometimes related to friends was to do group dieting.
Exactly.
So I think it is very ingrained in women's culture.
Yeah.
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 And then in an industry where you might be around a lot of women, that
Yeah.
can play a part, especially if the women have bought into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, every vacation that somebody was taking, oh, I need to lose 3 pounds before I go to Mexico. And it's like somebody who's like a size 2. And it's like, and every single day everybody was eating salads. Like there was no way I was going to eat anything other than a salad, right? Like we ate Panera like every single.
Like, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. It sounds like you easily succumb to social pressure. Do you know how many people in my job have said, "Oh, you should have your lunch with us in the lunchroom"? And I'm like, "No, thank you. I need quiet after dealing with the children, and I need a quiet place where there is no one around for my 30-minute lunch break and I can eat in peace." Plus, I mean, I say I want quiet, but I do tend to listen to videos. Primarily right now, philosophy videos on rational egoism, or sometimes I'll just watch a Caleb Hammer video and listen to him swear at people. All things I don't want my coworkers necessarily around for. I just need some solo time. Like, you don't have to eat with people. You can just go off and do your own thing, especially after like your 90-day evaluation. Oh wait, I guess real estate isn't union. This is a reason for you guys to look at union jobs. Like, not eating with coworkers uh on your lunch, not an issue. Like, the coworkers might say something, but you can be like, "No, thank you." And go do your own thing, and no one's gonna say shit because you are off duty. You are not required. You are not paid for that 30-minute lunch break. You are not required to socialize with anyone for that 30-minute lunch break. You're not required to do shit for that 30-minute lunch break because that is your 30-minute lunch break. And if you feel social pressure to do what everyone else is doing, that sounds like a you issue, in all honesty. Like, I know I tend to downplay social pressures, and it's not that I'm immune to them. I just don't have the capacity for them a lot of the time. It's just beyond what I can handle because I'll burn out so fast if I don't just do my own thing. As long as it's within school policy, I'm going to do what works for me. And I just, unless there's some serious concern about that being a backlash issue for her, she can just do her own thing.
Single day. And that was just like my team leader's like favorite thing. So we had Panera every single day. I had a salad like every single day. And like it was just I was afraid to not perform, right? Not perform as the good fat girl who was eating her veggies and like, oh yeah, I also feel disgusting today.
If you are so confident about your fatness, though, I don't know why you would feel the need to perform. And again, that sense of you have to perform, everyone I think feels that to a certain extent because we all have deficits that seem to fall outside our perception of what would be considered normal in a group dynamic, and sometimes it's like demonstrably just different. And I would really, I like it's a big energy drainer. I say like work on just letting it go. I don't know, maybe I'm speaking from place of privilege or so, I don't fucking know, but that's how I feel about it. Just don't. Just don't. No one's forcing you to. You don't have to. If they judge you, do you really give a fuck about what they think? Are their opinions important to your life? If not, fuck them.
I also feel gross today, like because I mean at that point like I also hated myself too, right? But it wasn't just them, right? It wasn't just them. It was also the environment, they teach you in like these trainings, right? Like of the calendar blocking, like start your day with, your gratitude and your affirmations and then go for a run and then eat your egg whites and like they live in your trainings. They're telling you.
So against the way I live, so I'm just like, LOL.
Yeah. Yeah. I see you wanting to say something.
I do.
Yeah.
Everyone has trainings that spew bullshit. I just want to put that out there. I had a fucking training. So, like, I have this kid, right? There's this kid that I work with. I am the ESL teacher. I work with an ESL student. He is technically low, but he does pretty well in his classes. I think his tests um, are not super accurate to his ability. But he fucking hates any ESL staff around him trying to help him. He has been openly hostile about it. So I've stopped putting me and those that work under me in his line of fire when he seems to be doing fine on his own. He doesn't need the help and he's hostile about it. There is one subject that he could probably use some help on, but he still has a passing grade. So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to put those that work under me or myself in a position with this kid when there are others that are failing classes and genuinely need more help than he does. So I'm talking about this with the person that's running the training for my department this year, and she goes, "Have you truly talked to him about the benefits of what you're trying to do for him? Because I have found that kids that truly know what you're doing for them accept the help." And I just had the biggest fucking internal eye roll. This kid does not fucking care. He is an 8th grade boy. He has no fucks to give. He is openly hostile. This is not a matter of making sure he knows what you're doing to help him. If he does not want there are kids and people in this world that do not want help no matter how beneficial it may be. It is not up to me to force help on someone that does not want it unless they are failing their class, which he is not. He was not failing. He was on my list of kids that were supposed to be high priority, but since there were other kids that were actively failing and he was doing fine on his own, I reallocated resources. And God, that fucking pissed me off. That fucking, like, it's my fault he's fucking hostile towards the program. Fuck you. Some kids are just like that. You're not gonna, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, alright? It's what happens sometimes. And if he is not in a detrimental place academically, and he doesn't seem to be struggling emotionally apart from hatred of ESL staff, then leave him alone. But no, I was wrong because he wasn't. So my point. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent. My point is that everyone at these fucking trainings, I think, no matter what job you have, it spews some bullshit or another. All right, it spews some bullshit, and it's up to you to decide what is worth keeping and what is worth tossing aside. Some of it is just bullshit, and it's okay to leave it alone. It's okay to leave it. It's okay to not adopt it. Half the time, these people have an overinflated sense of expertise that may be deserved, may not be deserved. I don't fucking know, but it doesn't resonate with me. So we'll listen to a couple minutes more, but then I gotta end this.
Really cut this, but
Yeah.
I only if you're comfortable. I'm genuinely trying to figure out how it affected you when you were working there, and I feel like a lot of your defense mechanisms are coming up. The laughing, the smiling, and it's okay. Like what we're talking about is really hard. You lived it.
Yeah.
So like if you need to do that, I really understand.
Yeah.
But like people are commenting about their bodies all the time around you.
Yeah.
And in an industry where you're
That's
trying
gonna fucking happen. That's gonna fucking happen. People are gonna say things that you don't like around you. People are gonna cover topics that you're uncomfortable with around you. It happens. It's either remove yourself from the situation, grin and bear it, change the subject of the conversation. There's avenues that you can take, but you cannot control what other people talk about. As long as it's not breaching any law, then your job is to make it best for you.
to be successful and you're trying to stand out and you're trying to connect in. So I'm really just trying to, I don't know, connect with what it was actually like.
Well, thank you for calling me out. No, you're right. I do. I use humor as a defense mechanism very often. It was fucking traumatic. I felt
I'm
both.
sorry, are you fucking kidding me? Am I wrong here in rolling my eyes a little bit at that it was traumatic? It was traumatic? Are you serious? I don't know. I had like a really rough week, so maybe I'm just being a judgmental bitch. But let me know.
Completely invisible and so exposed at the same time in very different ways.
Oh, that landed.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fat people can relate to that feeling.
Yeah. because it was very much like
Okay,
I
I'm over the pseudotherapy speak. This sounds like two chat GPTs having a conversation with each other a little bit. I need a break from it. This is still worth covering, I think. This is still like has some shit to it. This looks like it's gonna be a three-parter though. Um, but yeah, this I'm done. I'm done for today. This is the extent of what I will cover. What are you thinking of this episode so far? Let me know in the comments. I did not get a chance to read I think a single manhwa chapter this week, like at all. It's been a shit week for me. I family drama. My car wouldn't start one morning, like as I was leaving for work. I had to take my dog to the vet because like I was worried that there was a concern of Cushing's. Um, doesn't look like she has that, but now she has like three new medications, two of which are temporary, that I'm like trying to separate throughout the day so she's not taking a shit ton of medication at once. And then, God, what the fuck else? Well, both the car and the vet were expensive, so that was another thing. Oh, I had to deal with a kid drawing a swastika. He had no fucking clue what it meant. I talked to him about it. English is not his first language, and he had no fucking clue what he was doing. And I'm not sure where he saw it or where he got it from, but he had no real understanding of what that meant. And then I broke up a fist fight, so that was fun. Actually, it was a little fun because like I come over there's a group like circle of kids around the two that are fist fighting, and I just yell like knock it off in like the deepest voice I can muster, and they fucking jump apart. That was and all the kids scatter. And I'm like, I know who each one of you fucking are. Why are you scattered? I mean, I'm glad that's what they should do. They should go to class because the bell had already rung. But my God, that was an event to deal with. Uh, so like it's been one thing after another for me. I did find out though that the school that I used to work at that I really loved has a full-time fourth grade position. Fourth grade was the grade that I've always loved working with the most. So I'm applying for it. Wish me luck. And other than that, I have not done anything really of note this week. So no real creative things to interject here. But let me know what you're doing because I would love to. Like, I'm gearing up for summer. We have a total of 23 school days left before summer. We are all everyone's counting down. Teachers, admin, students, parents, everyone is waiting for the school year to be over. So, let me know what you're doing. I would love to know and maybe get some ideas for what I'm going to do this summer. Like this I'm really looking for a creative summer. There's only a couple house projects that I need to do, and like the rest of it is like me time. So let me know what you're reading, what you're doing, what you're crafting, what you're playing, what you're listening to, everything. Let me know in the comments down below. So thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.